Hi everyone, it's Leila here. That's my dog. So today I'm just going to post an update video. I've got something exciting to show you. I've got some native stingless bees outside. So I'll show you the hive, and I'll also take you on a small tour just to show you some updates with the plants. So this is my baby monstera, and I'm so excited because it's got some new growth. This is a brand new leaf, and here's another leaf coming out. So this continued to grow all through winter. This is a begonia, and this is my ripsalis, which is also shooting out a lot of new growth now that it's spring. One of my favorites at the moment. So here's my indoor plant collection in the dining room. That's the Kentia palm, looking a bit sad, not sure why. Fiddle leaf fig hasn't really done anything since I bought it a year ago. I've got a pink pepperomia there, which is doing well, and the maranta. That's the ficus, which is also putting out a lot of new leaves now that the weather's warmed up. And I've just put some more pepperomia and marantas down here. That's another monstera that's starting to grow. I've put this selection of pots here, mostly to hide the mess in the kitchen. This is one of my moth orchids. It really is in poor condition. I haven't looked after it, and yet it still put out these pretty blooms. And here's another moth orchid. This one is a bit healthier. Don't know why. I've treated them both the same, but it's got these pretty purple flowers. So this is my native beehive. I've got the teragonula carbonaria bees, which are a native Australian bee, and they're really interesting to watch. They kind of look like tiny flying ants, but if you watch the entrance of the hive, they're always busy doing something. They're bringing back pollen or resin, and some of them take out rubbish. They're really funny. They're like little rubbish collectors, and they carry balls of rubbish and throw it out. They don't seem to be doing much at the moment though. They only become active when the temperature's above 18 degrees. It's a bit cold this morning, so usually more activity than this. And that was one, I don't know if you saw it, it just crawled in with some pollen. It's very satisfying to see them come back with the pollen for some reason. But there'll be different bees coming back, some with pollen, some with nectar, some with resin. The funny thing about these bees, they build their hive from resin they collect from trees, which they mix with wax, and they create something that's called propolis. So that's different to your European honeybees, which just make their hive out of beeswax. So the resin gives a acid flavor to the honey. Also, I've heard, I haven't actually tried any of the honey yet. So I thought I'd show you some of my outdoor garden too. I've set up this pond in the last few months. It's just a kiddie spa that I've filled with water and covered with rocks to try and hide the garish blue colour. I've put some of my aquarium plants in, so it's now covered in green. There's about 4 goldfish I've put in there, but they're still pretty shy. They don't really come out that much. And here's the rest of my outdoor garden. What I wanted to show you was this hoya here. So this is a Hoya pubicalyx. I've got one outside, one inside. The one outside is doing a lot better. It's got these new leaves, and it did well outside in winter despite the frost. There are a few other Hoyas I put outside that just curled up and died, so I guess it depends on the species. It's an hydrangea. And I'll just show you the rest of the garden. This is a pathway I'm trying to put plants on, make it look a bit nicer. Here's some herbs and veggies I've just been growing. It gets a lot of good sun there. Here are some of my vegetable beds for this year. This one will do very well because it's out in the sun, and the sun has been particularly strong this year, scorching a lot of plants. This is my tomato plants, which have been eaten by a possum. Still trying to work out the best way to deter possums. That was a small pond I made. I've made this other veggie garden bed with a greenhouse cover to protect it from the sun, which is quite strong here. So it seems to be doing well. Here's a small garden bed. I haven't fully planted it up yet. Oh, and this is my potatoes. I've just painted 2 styrofoam boxes, and hopefully when I pull them apart it'll be full of potatoes. Some more tomatoes. So this is exciting. These are just self-seeded from last year. I think they're pumpkins, could be zucchini. And I'm going to show you my chickens briefly. They're sitting under the tree there. So if you look closely, you can see one of the stingless bees collecting pollen from this basil bush. And the pollen here is bright orange, so you can always tell when they've been here because they come back with these bright orange pollen sacs on them. I actually received an electric shock before this video from this lighting system I got from eBay. It's a bit dodgy. I plugged it in and I heard some crackling sounds, so of course I touched it. Now I feel a bit invigorated. I'll be throwing it in the bin. Just a warning. It's this LED light system that I was using for these plants, but really not worth the electric shock risk.